Hello mates, my name is Risk and welcome to Dissolving. It's a visual novel horror game that I found on itch.io quite a while ago and I always wanted to play it. As you can see from the title screen, creepy artistic stuff. I completely love these things. So I'm really hoping we're gonna get something creepy like Don't Open Your Eyes or something. So let's go in. I still visit my ex-boyfriend. He used to be a total bore, but he was a cute and good-hearted. Always ready to put off his plans to help friends. Always willing to advise, he used to speak passionately about programming. But before long, this good guy had to go. There was only a bore left sitting in front of a screen. He didn't finish his fourth university year, and soon he left his job in the office. His online work lasted a bit longer, but in the end he abandoned that as well. He dwells in a decrepit flat in a bad neighborhood, a generous gift from his parents. They're quite rich, so I guess it's not a problem. That's how he lives. Alone. No job, no friends, no interests. Only endless arguments with people on the net. Well, I'm not really sure if they're even people or not. How else can anyone be stuck there for that long? It's possible he's been desperately arguing with bots, algorithms simulating neural networks. All in all, I felt a kind of responsibility for his situation. Some time ago, I decided to be close to him. Funny, I don't hold on to the past, but to my decisions. The last time I was there, he was staring at his screen. Even more languid, pale and thin than usual. Sometimes it seemed like his outline was starting to blur. Just like a ghost. A rough sketch on the fabric of reality. He was unusually nice when having a free moment from his screen. Even gave me an envelope containing cash for my birthday, which was last month. The sum was quite significant, and the best explanation from him was a shrug of his shoulders. Nothing, just found my thing. Huh, that's him. Whoa. There you go, that's how I just revealed the entire picture. It's been over a month ever since. I'm here visiting him again. The same elevator, still out of service. The same stairs. Hold on guys, it's getting really hot in here. As you guys can tell, I still don't have a proper working AC, so it's really hot in here. The same elevator is still out of service, the same stairs, the same music in my headphones. Dim and deep, yet beautiful doom metal, a great fit for this old hall. He replied okay to my messages about visiting. I pressed the doorbell. It takes some strength, like the bell hasn't been used for some time. Nothing. He's not home? Weird. I can't imagine him being outside. What was that? Again? Was that him again? I'm coming over in 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, come in. Hey, he usually says okay, not yeah, come in. And also, it's in Russian. Scary stuff. I'm just kidding. The door is open. Wait in the living room. Busy at the moment. What? He didn't forget how to walk, did he? That's a very nice shirt you have there. There was a certain SP episode. Suddenly, I'm not keen to come inside. I pull the handle. The door opens, heavily and creaking. The hall isn't lit. The doors to the living room and the kitchen are open. I can see in the dark that his bedroom door, wooden with no glass parts, is shut tight. I hit the switch. I was afraid his power had been cut, but the light comes on, revealing the floor covered in dust balls. Silly me. He lives online, of course he pays for the electricity. I take off my shoes and enter the living room. Silence. There's no light coming from under his bedroom door. Instinctively, I reach for the switch and hit it. The fixture flickers as the lights come on. It seems I still remember where things are here. The dust is more noticeable under the light. I'm glad he doesn't have any plants. They would have withered a long time ago. Wait, I don't recall this lock on the door. It's easily seen under the light. Look like the newest thing in here. I couldn't have entered even if I wanted to. Saving. Somehow I'm not crazy about this. Sorry, not going outside. Let's talk like this. Great, just great. I saw a situation like this in a movie. It didn't end well. Fine, I'll reply. Why aren't you coming out? You won't like how I look. Don't want to frighten you. Really? Because you already failed. What's wrong? Is there something I shouldn't see? Haven't showered or had a haircut for some time. My lifestyle's had an impact on my body. Flesh is weak, XD. This is the last time I'm saying XD out loud in a video. I can't decide if I want to run or argue. I told him this solitude would drive him mad. His messages seems to have been stolen from poorly written songs. Wait, he never listened to music. Stop! Why don't you want to talk normally? Can't you move your tongue? I'm glad you came. I left you a gift as a thanks. The white envelope in the drawer. Please take it. There's a gift and a note. I take a look at the drawer by the wall. The envelope is there. The only thing not covered in dust. Is it money again? I don't like this. Should I just go? No, I want to know what's going on. Maybe there's someone else in this room. Or no one at all. It's not grounds to call the police yet. But he's been so strange these last few years, he could have easily gone mad. He could be dangerous. No. I can't leave. I can't abandon him like this. But I'll grab a knife, just in case. I'm gonna help my friend, but I'm gonna grab a knife, just in case. And try to coax him out of this room. I quietly enter to the kitchen, type in a message. You didn't answer my question, why you been like this? His reply comes as I pick up a knife. Even the kitchen looks abandoned. I haven't spoken to anyone for a long time. I feel uneasy. There's no going back now. I have a knife behind my back. Okay, let's do this way. If you come out, I'll take the envelope. Deal, but take the envelope first. If you do, I'll come out. I don't want to take it, and I'm gonna save real quick. But when he comes out, he'll see the envelope is still there. I could hide it somewhere, but that's risky. Gosh, just take the stupid envelope. It's just cash, that's all. It may be other stuff as well, not just cash. I put the envelope in my bag, holding the knife in my other hand. Not very convenient. Fine, but don't say it didn't warn you. Well, surprise me. The door is opening. I step back. The knife falls out of my hands. I hear a mechanical voice. I told you you wouldn't like it. I start to back away. He stands there in the doorway. The longer I look, the more blurred his outline is, and the clearer his mouth and eyes are. I turn and run. As I leave the apartment, I glance back. I only see his mouth and a pair of eyes. What's going on with my computer? I don't remember returning home. I must have immediately fallen asleep. That's how my body manages stress. In dreams full of anxiety, I saw eyes and a mouth without a body. It was probably too much for me, because I don't usually dream. It's been a day. I'm sorry, can we lower the music a bit? Thank you. It's been a day since I visited my ex, or the thing in his apartment. What was it? A prank? Did someone put on a silly mask with a lightning trick? Was I hallucinating? Or, damn, I don't know how to approach this or what to do. I don't know how to carry on. When such things happen, I want huddled up in a corner. This is why I tend to act impulsively, just to avoid anxiety. Perhaps my future actions will be just as impulsive. I used to believe that it's better to know. In these situations, it's better to start with a conversation. What happened yesterday? The answer came immediately. I'm glad you texted me. Have you opened the envelope? What a douchebag. What a bag of douches. Don't change the subject. I don't know what to say. Think harder then. Okay, what happened to your body? Why is he taking so long? This is the side effect of the ascension. The hell are you talking about? What ascension? Where? I've been in a ton of arguments online. With God? With who? Ascension? I met someone there. We started a mutually profitable partnership. I provide them with food, and in return they help me transform and solve some issues. Sounds a lot like YouTube networks, like MCNs. They will probably reach out to you soon. They enjoyed our chat. I guess that explains my computer? Well then. What do you mean? What the hell? I wanted to show my gratitude. You didn't leave me. I'm thankful for my parents too. They probably didn't care, but my family was still giving me money as support. And when they found me, my financial issues were solved. The envelope is the smallest thing I could do for you. I wish you a good ascension as well. What if I don't want to be ascended, huh? What if I'm fine being a sinner? Believe in the net. What the... fudge? You're not leaving, are you? There was no reply, because he left. I'm talking to you. There was no reply. A couple of weeks has passed. Hello? What? How? I see. So the funeral is this Saturday, right? I will come. Goodbye. I didn't say sorry to anyone. His mother's voice was so static, I was afraid even a formal condolence would be inappropriate. It didn't seem like it came as a surprise to her. I know how she feels. Even that prank, or whatever it was, is now easier to understand. He wanted to have some fun at the end. He decided long ago that there was nothing to lose. Left a death note and found a place to die. Was it a death note in the envelope or was it cash? I never opened it. Just like a cat. Of course, there's a chance he ran away, and the faded body found in the dump near his house was not him. But to him, suicide was his escape. He lost the ability to be around the other people, unless it's somehow related to that dull job he was referencing ever so vaguely. Perhaps I need to pay my respects and see what he put in the farewell envelope. In all honesty, I put it away because it was just a reminder of that creepy scene. In my mind, the story with my ex is over. I can, with no heavy emotion troubling me, delve into the mystery. That sense of completion enables me to detach. Perhaps there'll even be some nostalgia. I take the envelope from a drawer. The glued paper is easy to open, as if it's been waiting for me. Some fresh 500 euros notes and a piece of white paper. Last time it was only money, and a considerably smaller sum at that. I turned the paper over. Believe in the net. There's some text on the back, and below it, a SIM card. Of course this doesn't bode well, but what's the worst that can happen? Conveniently, I have a free slot for a SIM card. It's okay if something bad happened to my phone. I was going to get a new one anyway. Well, qu'est-ce que la vie? I removed the SIM card from the paper and put in my phone. The provider is displayed as eFoodNet. eFood? Electronic food, probably. Could be some sort of a viral marketing. Was it them he worked for? I tried number 100. We were nothing bad so far. Whatever then. I put the phone and money away. I go to my PC to scroll through my Twitter feed and find materials for work. Well, mostly to check Twitter. Suddenly I received an IM from my ex. Glad you opened the envelope. With a SIM card, the process will be much quicker. What? That's not funny. The SIM card must have triggered his final prank. A message from a dead ex-boyfriend. A sick joke. This will make for a great tweet, although I usually avoid writing about my personal life. Nevertheless, the world needs to see this masterpiece. Just got a message from a dead ex-boyfriend, a sick joke. I wasn't wrong, the tweet soon went viral. But I forgot what kind of people reply to these tweets. That joke is stolen, says Empty Volley. XDD. I said I'm not gonna say XD ever again. Heh, hee. Come and see, such an attention whore. Pics or it didn't happen. What? Another geek girl? You're not impressing anyone, my dear. Try harder. You're so effing dumb. You must be a femme. Nice stories about a dead ex. We live in a society. A society we live in. It's nothing new, but somehow this got to me. Especially at mouthful of Dark's tweet, which drove me up the wall. What alternative logic led you to believe I'm a femme? Who else would joke about men dying? He must have gone complete bonkers. Several hours passed and I barely noticed. New people were joining the argument. Oh no, stop arguing! That's the entire point, they want you to argue with them. That's how you become e-food. New misconceptions, new misrepresentations, new white knights and trolls. I know it will... hold on a second. Is this becoming less and less transparent? I can see the face. Well then, I know it was a stupid waste of time, but it really was hard to stop. Okay. It was really hard to stop. Another opponent will bite his dust under celebratory cheers of the crowd. Is this how gladiators felt too? Not sure about gladiators, but this must be what my ex felt. Believe in the net. People argue with strangers to get the slightest semblance of feeling. Writing terrible insults to get the smallest reaction. A validation of their achievements. I don't like the idea of becoming that. On the other hand, you only need to take in moderation. Online communication, whatever anyone says, can help you offline. You can learn good lessons. And it's also interesting to compare people online and in real life. The net has, wait, I wanna get a screenshot of that. The net has one's essence, I would say. All that remains is text, devoid of innovation. Text only representation of thoughts and feelings. That's what I find interesting about it. But still, stop. What is this? Bloody hell? I jump away from the screen and unplug the PC at the same time. What the devil? Be the devil out of it, as Bob Ross would say. That's when I catch a glimpse of my reflection. I scream! I run to the phone and take out the SIM, throw it on the floor and crush it. I put the remnants with some paper in a cup and set it on fire. It smells terrible, but I don't care. There are only ashes left. I throw them in the trash duct. I get rid of my PC along with all its data. I'll start collecting work materials from scratch on a new PC. I wanted to throw the money away, but I'd rather donate it to the church. The next day, my reflection was back to normal. A day completely offline, but after a few months, I think I'm ready to return to Twitter. I even created a new account, at myendlesssongo. After everything that happened, I know this is silly, but I miss talking to my mutals. I miss having a place to share my thoughts and get feedback. In the end, I forced myself to go to the funeral, a sight as pitiful as his last years. Not sure if I'm going to visit my ex's grave. You didn't click on the monitor. Huh? I got a Steam achievement, but I'm playing this through Itch.io. Hold on, no, that's an achievement from the game itself. I mean, I have Steam open, and the game is available on Steam. Whales fly through the cage of time. Flying Whale is the name of the developer, by the way. I was supposed to click the computer screen. I did not know that. And also, since the achievement appeared up here, usually achievements for me and Steam appear down below. That's how you know it's actually not from Steam, because I have a different settings. Anyway, I guess I am gonna click this screen and see what happens. I do have a loading file. Just clicking the screen. Whoa! The game crashed. And it opened again. Hold up. Whoa. Hunting a god. You guys can't see it though. Why? Oh, it's a new program now called Hunter EXE. Okay, hold up. Let me just alt-enter this and see if you guys are now able to see it. Yeah, you guys are now able to see it. Okay. Good stuff, I guess. Sorry if there is any issues with the frames as well. Not exactly weird, but... Wait. This is the very beginning of the game, isn't it? Yeah, this beginning screen looks very similar to the beginning game. And as you can see, we have different save files. So this is a different game within a game. I was always into things that are different. Not exactly weird, but different. Outside of common understanding, outside of the norm, this yearning led me through my life. If what's happening to me now can even be called life, because of my interests, I became an anthropologist. Because of it, I found my wife, and it stayed with me even after things fell apart. Everything was fine at first. I studied culture and psychology of certain people from medieval times. The subjects I chose were so specific that very few people had investigated them, yet they were peculiar enough to gain attention. I was rather good at presenting myself and my research, so funding wasn't a problem. I gave lectures at a university and some popular science events, and worked part-time at a private school. Hold on a second. All these descriptions are describing somebody else. So it's a different game, but also someone else. It's not the same person. We're playing as somebody else now. So I just feel like it's clear to point out this distinction. I soon found myself having a lot of contacts in university circles among young intellectuals. I married an avid artist specializing in book illustrations who was into goth metal, avid grade, and not committing to anything or anyone. Huh. When she was in the mood, she even joined my ventures into the depth of belief of people long gone. I even started thinking of a career in writing, but it can't be that good, right? I wasn't even going anywhere in particular. A car accident when I was driving back from a grocery store. The road was so slippery, I guess. Luckily, my wife wasn't at home and nobody got hurt, except for me. My body was paralyzed almost entirely. I could move only my left hand and my head. It was a nightmare. I couldn't live the way I used to. The simple act of going from the place to another became more difficult. What's worse, my wife refused to let me go and was taking care of me. Hold up a second, can we have a second? I would like to decrease the music sound again because it also resetted that. I did decrease it in the last game as well. What's worse, my wife refused to let me go and was taking care of me. I found it cute, considering her usual traits, but I was frustrated to see her wasting her life because of me. I stopped visiting friends and parties, and almost stopped giving lectures. Even doing my research became difficult. I was thinking about ending it all, but My family was rather religious, so I couldn't. I just couldn't. Maybe it's a mere excuse for my cowardness. Either way, I needed something to occupy my time, to distract me. My wife hid all the alcohol, never minded the drugs. I tried reading books and watching movies, but it wasn't enough. The thoughts were still here, haunting me, always there whispering in my ear. I pressed on though. Save it? What else could I do? Then one day, after... A bit loud again. One day, after dozens of blicks and flicks with cut and paste stories, I finally watched a movie that I really liked. I can't remember its name now, but back then, I was in I went to OMDB to find some info on it and found out the movie was universally hated. I checked the reviews to see what people dislike, started looking through them. False expectations, misunderstanding, ignorance, presenting subjective opinions as objective truth. Nothing new. But one review really got to me. This person wasn't just ignorant. They were aggressively ignorant and spiteful. I was so outraged that I went ahead and wrote a comment in an expressive manner explaining why they're wrong. I was only able to type with one hand, but it actually helped. I had more time to think about what I was writing. They replied quickly. Obviously, they didn't want to agree. I spent the next several hours arguing online, and it was great. There was nothing in my world aside from me, my argument, and my opponents. One of the two people who also commented on the review and apparently were subscribed to comments joined in. I was finally passionate about something and no longer wanted to die. Of course, it meant that I was arguing with strangers online, an act that I would deem pathetic not too long ago, but I didn't have much choice anymore. The next day, I created several throwaway accounts, set up a VPN, and dived into this restless world. It was fun. Since the people who participate in such things are quite peculiar, sometimes I got almost scientifically interested in their reasoning and possibly diagnosing their mental illness. There were people like me too, restless, almost always online. I met some of them in different places around the net. Eventually, I formed some vague semblance of friendship with some of them. Then one day, way after midnight, one of them made me an offer. Would you be interested in leaving your mutiled body and transcending into the net? It sounded like some cult nonsense, but sure, I'll bite. My pride was long gone, and I was curious. I wanted to know more. It definitely felt like cultist ramblings. Some mighty interdimensional being exists in our world, but only in digital form. It's like they're projections of themselves into our world from theirs, or shadows, or distorted copies. They feed on human emotions. These beings want to consume the strong feeling poured into the net. So the cultists, people who were digitized by these creatures, help them find newcomers. People who pour a lot of emotion into the internet. In exchange for producing food for them 24/7, they gain immortality and the power to control many things on the net. However, the elusive homeworld of these beings is still out of reach, even for their followers, not even a glimpse for humans. Yeah, it sounded like nonsense, but for some reason I was ready to believe it. This story reminded me of an incident that occurred when I worked at a private school. I was going back from work. A girl who worked there as a teacher was sitting on the stairs, seemingly distressed. She was mumbling something about digital people trying to ruin her, and so on. When I asked what happened, she said she was fired because of her ex joining some sort of a cult. I thought she was high or something. She looked like someone who would do that at work. Purple hair, torn jeans, you know. So that's the description of our character, the character we played before here.
So it seems like even though she met this entire thing and she knows about her boyfriend, she's still kind of leading on a normal life. Interesting. So I'm not playing as her ex either. So I said something encouraging and walked away. She didn't care. But when I heard about the cult, things started to make sense. Is that a face? Hold up, I'm saving the game in case I gotta click something again. At least I understood how far it reached. When I asked, so what did I need to do? The answer was quite peculiar. You need to get rid of your mortal body. We can send you a SIM card to speed up the process. It receives data from the stations controlled by us, and this type of data makes the transition faster. Your mortal body will partially dissolve during the process. When the ascension is complete, your atrophied corpse will remain in this world. I was hesitant to believe that, but curious indeed. Remembering that story with my colleague sure made it more intriguing. I was willing to check it out. Okay, I'm in. Can you deliver the SIM to my house discreetly? I'll arrange something. Just give me your address and date. I provided my address and set the delivery for a week later. I'm still ashamed I shared such information so easily. I was consenting to anything that could happen, but I forgot that my wife lives here too. They could just barge in and bad things could happen. I panicked at first trying to edit or delete the messages, but I forgot that such things don't disappear from the net so easily. There was no edit button, and no deleted message would erase it from my history, but not theirs. It was the first time I truly panicked since the incident. Strangely enough, my limited ability to move or act hastily helped me to calm down rather easily. I thought my limitations would fuel the panic, but no, maybe I was getting used to it. I persuaded a friend of mine in another country to call my wife away to some kind of important art event for a few weeks. He was a pretty big deal in the art world. It was difficult, but I managed to persuade her to leave me here. I had to agree to have a caretaker though. She insisted that the caretaker should be a man too. I like to think she was still jealous, which is cute considering my circumstances. The caretaker was rather nice. He looked like he could fight in a possible home invasion, or at least I hope he could. So my wife packed her things and left. Nothing peculiar happened until the package arrived at the promised time. I told the caretaker that I ordered stuff from my phone. He didn't ask for any questions. When he left the room, I unpacked it. Strangely enough, it was packed in a way that would be easy for me to open. I didn't tell them anything about my condition. I'm just trying to click some stuff on the pictures. I didn't tell them about my condition. In a small box was an envelope. The sign on it reads, "Believe in the net." Cute. I installed the SIM card in my phone. They promised the ascension will pass without any struggle for you. I don't know what they meant or what I expected, but it was strange. The mobile network now said eFoodNet, but at first nothing changed. Even when my body started to dissolve, I felt nothing. Well, that's quite odd, don't you think? Both physically and mentally. I mean, of course I freaked out at first, seeing lines of my body blurring, but as soon as I found myself worried about how I'd hide it from the caretaker, should I hide it in my room? Faking a depressive episode? Should I give him sleeping pills? Ask those guys to lure him away, faking an accident with someone in his family. I decided to task those cultists with luring him away, and I calmed down completely. Yeah. The fact that I was so indifferent actually bothered me. It was the out-of-the-ordinary experience I always dreamed of, and yet, until this day, I wondered, maybe I died in that car crash. Maybe everything after that was just a fever dream, or an endless vision of my afterlife. Maybe you, to whom I tell these stories, doesn't even exist. I guess I'll never know. They got the caretaker to leave due to some family circumstances. Honestly, I don't want to know what happened. In 2 days, my body changed drastically and my vision became blurry. like a dark fog appearing before my eyes. It got thicker and thicker, and eventually it covered my eyes entirely. The last thing I saw was the computer screen through the fog. What a beautiful farewell to the mortal world. The new world was not what I was expecting. I retained my consciousness, memories, and personality seemingly without any changes, but I was data now, and I could only perceive other data and traverse from server to server. I had the ability to control anything on the internet. At first, I was in awe. Everything they told me was true. I declined my weak, almost non-functional human body and became something more powerful, ascended to the new realm, where powerful beings dwell among the undying flow of information. I could perceive data faster than any human, finally free, able to travel as fast as electricity, and a whole new world full of strange and unusual things for me to investigate. With being akin to gods lurking somewhere in the endless ocean of data, sometimes I felt them passing by the same servers as me, a strong, weary presence. To this day, I don't know how I could feel a presence in the digital world. I was just a bunch of numbers, and yet I could. Maybe it's because of my soul. Maybe a soul can be digitalized too? Maybe it's the immortality of the soul we were promised by ancient prophets, but data can be deleted. Does that mean that both souls and gods can be destroyed then? Actually, feeling the presence wasn't the only proof of my soul being here that I got in the first day of my new life. Soon after a bit of getting used to this world, I started stalking my wife. All those power, all those mysteries, and I was just following her life. Reading all her messages and posts, watching all the cameras that spotted her, on her laptop, on her phone, on the streets, in cafes, in dressing rooms and bathrooms. Yeah, those places have more cameras than you'd think. The things I learned. I didn't like them. She tried to sue that poor guy, the caretaker, but not to no avail. My body was obviously exhausted. I'd been really skinny for the past month because of medication and stress. Police didn't find anything suspicious about my death. Just some person who should have died a long time ago and finally left this world. I even read such messages in her history. I certainly couldn't argue with that. I watched her go through all the stages. Watch her ditch work and social relations, trying to commit suicide, then spending most of her remaining money on therapists and medication, trying to get back to work but mostly failing. I wanted to stay away, to not get involved. It wasn't my world anymore. But at some point, the growing howling mass inside my soul became so big that I had to act. I added several sizable sums to her account, masking as compensation for all troublesome projects I remembered, and sent the word sorry from a newly created throwaway account. After that, I decided to leave all of it behind and try to live a life, immortal life. I started my search for the gods. I wanted to understand at least some small part of them, to know why they evoke such deep feelings in me, such awe and fear at the same time. Why are they so powerful? Why did they share their power with me? Is it only to give me them food? Or is it something more? I started by asking around. Most people here were busy with the same stuff they did online while they were still alive. Consuming media, arguing about it, spying on the lives of others, arguing. Stuff like that for the most part. But then I saw something that I couldn't understand at first. I saw one person's data dissolving, being erased, along with many others on the server. Most of them in the same part of the server as the dissolving data. I found a person idling in another part of the server and asked them, "What's happening?" "They're devouring them. It's happening more and more frequently now." "What does that mean?" "They're collectively devour data of people that did something against the cult, like merging their data together. Usually they send the remains to a remote server and format it afterwards. A rather long procedure, to be honest. Probably takes so long because it's not a power they could extract from the source, unlike controlling the net." "You're new, huh?" "Everything we have is because of some guy who managed to find those beings on the internet, copy their code and partially reverse engineer it, he digitalized himself with his new power and started inviting other people to join. Wait a minute, so you're saying those interdimensional beings have no part in the ascension? Pretty much, they just exist here and wander these lands. Why was I told about giving them food? Oh, the guy found out that they grow on servers where people argue emotionally. They like that and tend to gravitate to such places. I don't know though how we went from that to this cult thing we have now. They don't ask for anything. They just don't communicate with us at all or interact in any other way. Oh, that's disappointing. How do you guys know so much anyway? Don't know. I've been here for so long, possibly over 20 years. Some part of my memories are corrupted or formatted. Then you could be the source guy. I could, yes, but I'm more interested in other facts about me. What could be more interesting than discovering you created this new society? Look like parts of my memory were deleted by me. That's possible? Yes, you can alter your own code. It's easy. Never thought of that. You're considering deleting your memories? Yes. Then could you answer me one question? Sure. It's probably gonna be why. What makes you want to delete your memories? Why? I was short-sighted, and my egotism led to the suffering of a person dear to me. I could have stopped, but I went all the way. I want to forget what I've done, and all the happy memories I made with her. The happiness of that past has become nothing but pain. I see. Guilt. Quite understandable. Thanks. We remained there, watching the data being consumed for a while longer. After some time, the person asked, "So will you do it?" Do what? Delete your memory? I already deleted that, so I don't know what you're talking about. Probably not. Why? Remembering is punishment for me. I see. Don't be so hard on yourself. Wait. Oh, okay. So remembering is his punishment, so that's why he's not gonna delete it. Don't be so hard on yourself. I gotta save. I've been playing for so long now. I didn't answer. Thanks for speaking with me. It was rather enlightening. No problem. You helped me too. Glad to know. Maybe we'll meet again. See ya. I finally left the servers. It was an important moment for me. Hold on a second. This place is her place. I'm going to the idea of understanding those creatures. I believed in everything those guys said to me since I became digital and saw gods. I should stick to my own research, as it was during my career, but things didn't work out. I managed to copy and paste parts of their code. I got that far. However, I couldn't do anything with it. It didn't even know how to approach it, or where to start. It was gibberish to me. I tried inserting their code into my own, to no avail. Nothing. It had changed who I am. I was now useless at investigating anything, even though that earned me some fame in the human world. That feeling of desperation would eventually lead me to try self-destruction. One day I followed one of the gods. At some point I realized the server was empty. It was only that being and myself. An idea suddenly crossed my mind. I probably would have been grinding if I still had a mouth. I set a timer to disconnect the server from the internet formatted, then reconnect. I left servers just before the timer went off, with the bean still there. When I came back, the server was empty. I left just before the timer, and could still sense the god somewhere in the central part of the server. They couldn't leave, as far as I know, which could mean only one thing. I killed a god. I guess that shows what kind of person I am, but I wasn't overwhelmed with power or anything. There was only disappointment. After that, I started to wander the net, picking up on the stories that unfolded around me. There were a lot of them. The cultists spent most of their time trolling random people and recruiting new members. In most cases, they forgot about their previous targets and moved on. Just like the person that invited me, they forgot about me the moment I joined them and started to close in on the next person they wanted to recruit. But one day, I noticed a cultist that hadn't changed his prime target for a long time. He was seemingly torturing and stalking a girl that once dated one of the cultists, which is this one. I decided to see what was going on. It was rather easy. Things rarely disappeared from internet if ever. It was the girl I met at work. Huh. Why did my writing changed? The one with purple hair. Fun fact, her ex refused to get the SIM card because he wanted to experience the ascension for as long as he could. He forgot about her quickly and hadn't even followed the story of her being hunted. Since he spoke with her near the school, things had been quite rough for her. She tried abandoning the internet, but it didn't work out. She tried withdrawing cash from several ATMs. Sometimes, just to mess with her, he actually let that happen. She tried not leaving her apartment, but it wasn't much help. He would summon the cops, delivery, anything like that. After some time, though, she managed to save up a rather large sum of money. She already had some of her own saving in cash, even before this whole mess began. She started practicing walking in places where street cameras wouldn't see her. Not only street cameras, but possibly drones or satellite cameras. Anywhere there was some kind of roof or canopy. When we decided everything was ready, she started her plan. The girl went to a nearby internet cafe. They surprisingly still exist today, though mostly filled with schoolboys playing games on the local network. She found a cabin in the woods up for rent in rather a remote location and arranged a meeting about the rent. Using a fake name, obviously. Buying a used car was easy too. Getting a gun was a bit harder, but she had connections. The seller didn't care about documents or anything, he just needed the money. In 2 days, she had gotten a cabin, a car, and a gun. She turned on her phone, let it play music, and gathered her belongings in a sports bag. In 4 hours, she arrived at her new home. It worked for a while. You probably guessed that since I know all this in such detail, her plan got found out. The guy did some extensive digging, and once he knew what to look for, he traced her easily. One morning, she woke up to a loud noise. When she opened her eyes, the noise repeated, now closer. She stood up and grabbed the gun. She always kept it near her. It wouldn't help against what was coming, but it could still come in handy. A drone crashed through her window. It was rattling around the floor, trying to fly up. She rushed to it of the inner rooms of the house without shadows. She rushed to one of the inner rooms of the house without windows and began stuffing some cash into the pocket of her shirt. But soon she heard another sound, a roaring engine. She rushed outside dressed only in her pajamas, just in time, as a bulldozer demolished the entire building. He had put this house on the list of buildings to be demolished. She ran through the forest, followed by the sound of drones buzzing, towards the road, where she could catch a ride back to society. Not exactly the best outfit for it, but what choice did she have? I suppose she didn't have time to think about any other dangers, but I did. There were only 2 other people on the server, but he was too absorbed in his game to notice anything. I learned he was sending some drivers after her, with histories, let's say. That's when I decided I'd had enough of observing. I persuaded the other 2 cultists to leave the server under false pretenses. Then I set the timer. He's gonna kill him! She was covered in bruises. Legs were too tired. The buzzing drew closer and closer. The road was still far away. She stumbled upon an old tree and fell. Her whole life must have flashed before her eyes. I don't know for sure. I can't read minds. She lay there for a few seconds before turning into her back. She drew her gun and aimed with shaking hands at the nearing drones. The girl started firing. The recoil hit way harder than she expected, but one drone was down. There were several dozens left. She fired the remaining bullets, but missed almost all of them. Luck wasn't on her side anymore, was it? She tried getting up and running, but had no energy left. She sat there, watching those things getting closer to her, with her eyes wide open. But then, they stopped. One of them was several inches before her. She waited. They didn't move. She sat there for about a minute. One of them fell down with its lights out. Battery must have died. That's a server reset, baby! She got up. She stood for a moment watching the buzzing swarm of drones. Some of them had needles and short knives attached. Fuck it! Wait, hold up. I didn't mean to press that. Fuck it! I'm going back. She flipped off the drones and walked away. When she flipped off the drones, she probably said, stab this. In the direction of the cabin's remains. So she started walking towards it. What happened? I think it's the end. We killed the cultist that was hunting her.
I knew you would wait.
Why does this face look so familiar? Does any developer ring to mind right now? Any aesthetic gamers right now? What the hell is going on right now?
I guess I'm happy that you stayed for so long.
I think that's his voice too.
Don't know for sure though. Yeah, I'm the one who told you these stories. Both of them. I just couldn't bring myself to communicate online. Or even follow what's going on. So I decided to get creative. Make games, write stories, and upload them to random sites. It's the same as arguing online, after all.
Just a bunch of emotions spilled into the nothingness.
In the hopes that someone will understand. And find the record of your thoughts and emotions on the garbage pile.
Where nothing ever disappears.
There's no death on the internet. That's where I made a mistake. I was still thinking in terms of a human world, not a digital one. So the guy whom I thought I killed returned. I couldn't kill even him. Yet, I thought I was mighty enough to kill a god. Everyone leaves a digital trace. Caches, messages, forum posts, histories of visits, so on and so forth. After a while, they start to gravitate towards each other. Like molecules. Producing a distorted copy of the individual. Is this what they meant by all this immortal soul stuff? Anyways, he regained parts of his memories, told the cultist what happened, and they weren't happy. Can you really replicate a person by their data? Honestly, though, I don't even know who I was. The only thing that kinda comforts me is the thought that maybe, since now I'm the enemy for them, she'll be able to live a functional life once again. Just like my wife, hopefully. There's one other thing, but it's rather silly. Maybe when I become a distorted copy of myself, I'll find forgotten, useless shards of who I was. And understand something that I couldn't understand about myself before.
Just like you. One
The hunter won't die. Coffin, clock, streetlight, and attic. These are camera spots, right? A camera feed.
just like one.
Oh, wow. Sorry about that. So what am I supposed to do about this? Should I go back? How much back are we talking about? Because the achievement I got said the hunter won't die. We gotta figure out a way since we can go back. Let's try going back. Oh, this is as back as I can. Turns out that having the game downloaded on my Steam as well, I launched it through the itch.io app, but it seems like
the Steam still kept track of my achievements. That's really weird and cool. I guess Steam was just looking for me to open the exe of the game and then tracked my achievements. So I'm glad for that, because now I kind of know progression on the game. We're still missing one more achievement out of 4. So I do believe what we've seen was the end of the game, but let's just see what happens when I try and trigger the last thing. So I kind of have to skip here and click this. Was that it? Hold on. Let me check that real quick. Well then, that was all the achievements that I could find for this game. I am 100% through with the achievements. And all the achievements I think were locked achievements, or at least the last one was a locked achievement. So I don't think this game is hiding anything anymore. I gotta say, I really like this. It's a really weird, really bizarre, a lot like what I usually think about aesthetic gamers games. And seeing him in the game was kind of a nice nod for this channel, because you know we just play every single game that he makes. This was made by Flying Whale. Really cool. I really enjoyed this. And yeah, I'm happy with the visual novel games we're getting lately. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye bye.